The net begins to close, but Holmes had underestimated the insurance investigators. He had pulled off dozens of frauds before, but this time, the money didn't come easy. The insurance company was suspicious. They began tracking his movements, questioning his past, connecting his various aliases, and when the trail of missing people kept growing, the authorities finally realized this wasn't just a fraud case. This was something far, far worse. Police across multiple states began following Holmes's movements. They uncovered the burned body of Benjamin Petezel. They found the remains of his children, and suddenly the case became national news. This wasn't just a con man on the run, this was a serial killer moving from town to town, covering his tracks in blood. In November 1894 in Boston, Holmes walked into a hotel, unaware that his days of freedom were numbered. He had been careless, too confident that his lies would hold. Police were waiting for him. He barely resisted. He simply smiled, as if this was just another minor setback, as if he hadn't just been caught in one of the most horrifying criminal cases in American history. When they took him into custody, Holmes assumed he would talk his way out of it. He had done it before, but the police had something they had never had before. They had bodies, they had witnesses, they had proof, and soon they would have something even worse, because back in Chicago, investigators were about to step inside the murder castle for the first time, and when they did, they would find hell itself. For years, H. Holmes had been untouchable. He had lied his way through multiple states, taken on different names, and left a trail of missing people that no one ever connected. But now his perfect illusion was starting to crack. The insurance fraud that was supposed to be a quick payday had backfired spectacularly. Instead of silencing suspicions, the murder of Benjamin Petezel and his children had set off a chain reaction, one that would finally bring Holmes to justice. And this time, he couldn't talk his way out of it. Holmes had always counted on confusion to protect him. He assumed that law enforcement agencies in different cities wouldn't communicate, that he could keep moving, changing names, staying one step ahead, and for a while that worked. But by late 1894, the detectives trailing him were starting to connect the dots. Two men in particular were closing in. Frank Geyer, a Philadelphia detective with a reputation for tracking down the most elusive criminals. The Pinkerton National Detective Agency, a private firm known for hunting fugitives across state lines. These men were different from the local officers Holmes had manipulated before. They weren't easily distracted by his charm. They weren't deterred by his confusing paper trails.